The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
And welcome to Rock Talk. We have an exciting show tonight for you. We are going to be interviewing Dave Holmes live from Wolves In Argyle. Are you there on the line, Dave?
Yeah, hey Aimee, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Great.
So welcome.
Through midweek.
Yeah, welcome to Rock Talk. So I'm super excited to have you on. I've had the pleasure of seeing you perform twice in less than a month. So that's really cool. A smaller venue at the Ivy Room, and that's in Albany. And then we saw you at the Cornerstone, and that's in Berkeley. I believe that's on Shattuck, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
so
they were venue too.
Yeah, it was packed. It was awesome. The crowd was going wild over you guys. It was really, really cool. Loved seeing you in your element. I did interview your band last year, and you've had several changes. Can you tell us a little bit about what type of band you are?
Yeah. You know, Wolves In Argyle is really a straight rock and roll band. However, our influence are pretty wide, pretty vast. We all come from kind of punk rock backgrounds. So we started out with a lot of our traditional punk rock influences, but we wanted to play more rock and roll. Since then, we've taken anything from some alternative rock, some Pixies influence, all the way over to like Thin Lizzy and some more modern stuff. So we're really a rock and roll band with a wide array of influences, and we kind of do what we want to do, and we've set up to do that without any rules.
Well, that's great. You do have a unique sound. It's really, really good. So who is the one that writes your songs?
I started writing. I do most of the writing up till now because I started writing songs for this project around 2013. For a couple of years, around 2015, started bringing some players in and actually making a band out of it. It was kind of a concept idea, a project I've been wanting to do for a while. Now, the band centers mostly around me and Steve Moriarty, our drummer, and we've got a few different players that we bring in. Josh, our guitar player, and bass player Joe, are starting to contribute as well to the songwriting process, and I think after we drop this record, the next record is going to be more of a collaboration.
Now, when did you form the band? What year did you form the band?
I think Steve and I started playing together, I believe, around mid-2015.
Okay.
And then not long after that, we added a really good friend of mine, Sven Soderlund, on guitar, and later Joe on bass.
Awesome.
So
now you and Steve
played with us for a while, and Josh came in and stepped into his shoes. Sven had some family obligations and some other stuff going on. So
yeah, he's kind of like solo now.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I've been meaning to get out to check out one of his shows, and we've just had so much stuff going on lately. I've had to miss it, but we talk quite frequently, and so I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing it. But I'm hearing he's just killing it. So
yeah, I missed the last one too, but I promised him the other night when I saw him at Dress the Dead's show. I said, I'll make sure that I'm there, and that is, I believe, the 13th of November. But I have all that on the Rock Talk Facebook page. So how are you promoting your band and your shows?
That is kind of a 1-2 knockout, really. We rely pretty heavily on social media,
mm-hmm.
and as well as word of mouth. really have not done much advertisement as far as our local shows go. We just rely on word of mouth and social media. I wanted to build this up organically. But we have a pretty big online presence, and it's kind of growing throughout the world now, too.
Yeah, there was a big crowd.
we have built a couple of PR campaigns around our 2 song releases and the 2 single releases that we've done so far. And so we work with a couple of publicists, with Deborah in L.A., and we have a new one that we're in the process of working with over in Europe, too. So.
Awesome. That sounds excellent. So who personally is your musical influence?
My musical influences, growing up, I was a huge fan of The Clash, with the Revolution music. I love the sound. I love the natural overdriven guitars as well as the clean, echoey sound. I was a big fan of Prince. Also AC/DC, Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, and The Damned. So I really grew up kind of a rocker kid, listening to a lot of AC/DC, a lot of Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, Iron Maiden, and so I've always been kind of a rock and roller, a metalhead kid.
Are you a native of California?
I am, actually. I was born in Stockton, California, and grew up in the wonderful Central Valley, and moved pretty much all over. My parents were kind of nomads, so we ended up in Kansas City, Missouri for a few years. We lived down south, and we went to the foothills, and circled back and ended up back in California, I think probably when I was about 8th or 9th grade.
Wow, kind of sounds like my life. When did you meet Steve?
Excuse me?
When did you meet Steve?
Steve and I actually met through my fiancée, Charmaine, who also helps manage our band. She's been a big resource.
She is awesome. I was so thrilled to meet her.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's a cool
I'm a lucky
chick.
guy. She's really, really rad. She's also my best friend, and one of her best friends was friends with Steve, and it was suggested that the 4 of us go out to dinner. So we met probably 6 months before we started playing music together, and just had a lot in common as friends. Ended up hanging out several times before we even talked about playing music together.
Awesome. So, yeah, you can really see the chemistry between the two of you. I noticed that you turn around a lot, and you're like jiving with him. It's really cool. I love watching you guys. You're full of energy. It's really awesome. And you all have different energy. And then Josh, he's just like so animated. I love taking pictures of him.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Lucky to have a team of some rad players and some rad people. We're all big jokers, so we screw with each other all the time. On stage, too, giving each other shit to push harder, to play, but it's just for the love of playing. And, we take advantage of the time that we have together. Josh lives in L.A., and works on other projects from time to time. And so, with the distance between us, he jumped back in to do a couple of shows recently. Steve and Joe actually are roommates and live in Oakland, and I'm in Alameda, so we're not that far, so we get together as much as possible. Sometimes we'll practice 2-3 times a week. Other times, we'll skip a week or two, and we'll work on other things that we have going on, like artwork, social media, some songwriting, and sharing files.
So that's probably your biggest challenge, too, is getting together, right?
It really is. It really is. Going forward, kind of kept a family atmosphere as far as the players go on this. When we put this together, I had hooked up a singles deal with Universal, which we decided to just launch a song. I was finishing writing for the album with some input from the other guys, and I really kind of had to put a band together pretty quick to take advantage of this. So, being in our 40s and all the history that we have. We try to put as much time into this as possible while keeping our day jobs and other commitments we have in life. So
yeah, it's a definite balance there. But you guys are really, really good. You're all seasoned vets, you know. It's like, it's really cool. It's really cool to watch.
Very cool, yeah. I was stoked to get you out for a couple of shows back to back, so you get to see us in a smaller venue and a bigger venue.
Yeah, which one do you like playing better?
Wow, that's a good one. You know, I love the intimacy of the smaller venues, being able to go in and connect with people on a personal level. But as energetic as we are on stage, we are kind of show-offs. We like to throw our gear around. And so I'm yet to find a stage that's too big for us.
Gotcha.
And our gear. But the size of Cornerstone, you know, which is probably comparable to Slim's,
yeah,
is really a good size. I think that's great. We like, you know, you get an opportunity to play for more people, and we can jump around, and lo and behold, I think me and Josh had a mid-stage collision halfway through our set the other night, too. So every time we think we have enough room, it seems like we can always use more.
How does it feel when you get up on stage and you look out at a big crowd? What does that do to you?
You know, for me, it triggers some of the emotion of the writing that I've put forth into my music. All of the Wolves in Argyle songs tell a story. They're kind of cloaked in mystery about some very turbulent situations I've had in life. And I think seeing people's faces when we play is what kind of drives me. Somewhere between just belting our music out as hard as possible and getting reactions from people, but at the same token, it will drum up some things that I've buried inside of my brain. So I just, you know, I love getting people to dance and looking around, seeing people shaking their ass and jumping around. It really just drives us. It pushes us harder.
Well, that's one of the things I recognized most, is that there was a definite connection with the audience when you play. And you can see the expressions on their face, and you can see that they're connecting in some way to the lyric or the beat, but it was really, really interesting, you know, and not a lot of bands have that. So that's a big plus there. What are your what are your feelings about, like, the downloading of music online?
Well, the paradigm has shifted so much.
I know.
You know, since when we were growing up and touring in punk bands, a lot of doing it yourself, and I actually started in a couple of thrash metal bands before I even had some punk rock bands. And, you know, back then it was, you know, get in the van, go find an analog studio, try to cut some demos, get your music out, just like you would hand out flyers back in the old days. You know, you'd be handing out, selling music, sometimes having a backpack full of CDs, even cassettes, you know, back in those days. And that's as far of reach as you could really get your music until you got a label on board to start helping you out, which I've been lucky enough to have a few times. Nowadays, the reach has changed, and during the songwriting process, for me, when I started doing this in 2013, I had a bigger vision and realizing, all right, keeping the caliber of musicians around for a project like this for a long time, especially in the early days where there's not a lot of money on the table with music, that I needed to take advantage of the reach that we had through, you know, online, you know, fan bases and some of the tools and resources that are out there. So when we started this, it was very different than when we started bands when, you know, I was in the Uzis, and shooting loose here back in Brother Kane days. We decided to try to build up our fan base and our online presence while we were putting out music and getting the band together instead of hitting the road and exhausting everybody the first 2 years.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. you know, and you don't sleep well, and you're in places that you're not familiar with, uncomfortable beds if you have one, probably not eating well, and then giving your all to the audience. It's definitely harder than your so-called day job, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're giving emotionally of yourself as well. So
yeah,
it's exhausting.
Well, and I'd always been a guitar player and played bass in a few projects. Always been like a primary backup singer. This is the first project for me to take on as a lead vocalist too.
Really? That
So,
surprises me, because
yeah.
you seem like the front man, you know, just like it's a natural thing. So that's cool.
Thanks. I had some classical music influence and training on piano when I was a kid, but you know, I never really realized.
When did you start?
By singing backup.
Yeah.
Is when you're on the road like that, it's taking care of your voice too was something I never really thought about. So I've had to grow with that over the last few years too, and make sure you're managing yourself. You're not out talking all night and realize, oh my God, I'm hoarse the next night. I can't sing. So a lot of respect for people, you know, for other musicians, singers that are able to manage that, avoid getting sick and having to cancel shows, because it just happens.
Yeah, it does. But you got Charmaine, and I know she's got your back. Take good care of you.
She does. Oh, she's got my finger spray, ginger, lemon.
Yeah, see?
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She is absolutely
And she
amazing.
smells good.
She does smell good. Tastes great. She's less filling.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
I love
She
it.
not only takes care of me, but all the guys. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everybody around. She's one of the catalysts of why the other players want to keep coming around too. It's not just the music and the good times, but you know, Charmaine will be a band mom. She'll stitch us up. She'll make us dinner. You know.
Yeah, you need that, though, because you are a team. You know, like any sport, you have to have your network of supporters, and that's awesome. And I saw that she does a lot, so that's really cool for you.
Yeah, I didn't know if she planned on getting into being, you know, the band psychiatrist too, but you know, she works well in that arena too. So definitely multifaceted. Yeah, she's a huge asset. Definitely a band member and one of the leaders of the band. I rely on her almost exclusively a lot of times for any creative outlet that we have with artwork, with lyrics. She's, you know, we live together and we're engaged too. So I get the best of both worlds. But we've been known to stay up late. She helps with lyrics. So she's had a lot of contributions to Wolves in Argyle for sure.
Well, I think it was a divine appointment the day that you met, so that's really, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it really was. Hooking me up with Steve too, so that was rad.
So as far as playing guitar, when did you start playing?
I started playing guitar when I was 12 years old. I played guitar for probably about 2 or 3 years. Yeah, that's right. About the time I was 15, I picked up bass, and I had a chance to play with another band on bass guitar. At that time, the two guitar players that I had were, you know, better, more versatile guitar players than me, so I jumped in and started playing bass. So
Well, that's smart.
ended up doing that for my first few bands, really, and then picked up guitar around the formation of the Uzis, which was '96. And so I played consistently since, I would say, probably about '84.
Nice.
Yes, quite some time. So
Now, what kind of guitar do you play?
I switch. I'm a big fan of semi-hollow bodies,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Gibson Les Pauls. You know, I like the big, heavy wood body. I've never been, for some reason, you know, I love some of the Fenders out there, but the smaller bodies just don't feel right with me. I like something that's big and meaty and chunky, and just has that good resonance. It's something you can kind of throw around and just sink your teeth into. So Gibson Les Paul has been my go-to. I'm now playing on a Gretsch Electromatic, and my last hollow body unfortunately got stolen after a show that one of my other bands had played at at the Fillmore. We left some gear in at an after party, and I had a '79 ES 325 Gibson semi-hollow body, which I actually have a tattoo of, but unfortunately I'll have pictures of that one. But, yeah, so several guitars. I have 3 different Gibson Les Pauls and the Gretsch hollow body now. This is my current lineup.
I've heard that. I've seen a lot of people losing their stuff on Facebook, because I'm friends with a lot of musicians, and it happens more frequently than you would think, and that's just straight bullshit right there to ever even do so. It's like, that's the snakiest thing to do.
I can't stand thieves, and artists have personal attachments to
exactly, yeah. That's like stealing like a pet or a...
Exactly,
yeah.
Get the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Taking somebody's pet. Yeah, so that drums up some definite anger in my mind. I'm kind of a big guy. I would have no remorse for catching somebody stealing our gear. Not only that, another artist's gear. It's just absolutely, it's bullshit.
I think we should start a page. We should start a page of, and post all the stuff that's been taken from us. And, the world is a lot smaller than you think. And, you never know.
Yes.
You never know.
Well, and it's great. I mean, that's one of the other good sides of Facebook and stuff too. Is I'll notice other artists out there sharing when they've been ripped off out of state. Word travels fast, but this way it gets around. So at least you have a better chance of hopefully, getting a hold of your gear again. It doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah, but maybe even deterring somebody from doing a punk ass thing like that too. So.
It's great. Nobody likes a cheater. Nobody likes a liar.
That's right.
Nobody likes a thief.
Yep.
So, honor amongst thieves, that whole coining that term had a different, had a different feel than actually being a thief, taking musicians' gear, which we're highly underpaid and overworked. But we have a lot of fun.
So I have a question. How did you come up with Wolves in Argyle?
Wolves in Argyle, thank you. That's a good question. Wolves in Argyle was kind of a play on words. Wolves in sheep clothing. And Argyle, the pattern itself, was kind of known in the rude boy culture.
Uh-huh.
For the punk rock, the dress, the old oi scene, and rude boy ska, punk rock culture. Wolves in Argyle was a representation. I'm a huge animal advocate. I love animals, all forms, from your average house pets to wild animals. I'm an avid fisherman and outdoorsman too, and there's a certain loyalty and seamlessness that animals have that sometimes humans don't get. I mean, animals are brutally honest, and the loyalty and fierce nature of the wolf was something that is very admirable, and it's been mystical. And some of the years and time that I spent abroad in Sweden too, and they've also had kind of a bad rap for attacking farmers, sheep and livestock too. So depending on where you're at, I have a Native American background, quite a bit in Blackfoot, Cherokee, and Choctaw Indian, and the wolves were always magical creatures. So I hold great respect for animals, and to me, Wolves in Argyle was a representation. It was just kind of a fantasy thing about what if there was an animal takeover, and the animals started standing upright and came in and took over less than loyal, less than honest humans. So there was just kind of this big concept in Wolves in Argyle. It seemed to flow and come together. So that's what we ended up naming the project.
That is an awesome story. That's a great foundation for the name. I was talking to Sven a couple years ago about merchandise, and I told him then that you should get like Argyle socks and then get a patch of your logo and put it on there. No one else has socks. Everybody has t-shirts, but
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that coming to me and talking to me about it. It's funny you say that too, because I've had that vision too before, and it's something we definitely want to get around to.
Also, the patch is on for you. I'm very good at sewing. I think people would totally dig having those socks. You know, especially girls. You know, they like those high socks and.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. You could do a lot with this. The mini skirts. You know, some of my rocker friends too, like Argyle, you know, sometimes also has a play with. You know, some of the kind of the preppy background and stuff too.
Yeah.
So in a way, it can be a contradiction because you know you think of like the Argyle sweater and stuff like that, which most of us rocker kids don't wear and didn't wear. But in the punk rock culture, some of the pattern and plaid too. So there's a lot you can do with the merchandise on that, and I look forward to expanding our merchandise catalog too down the road.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I remember that.
Yeah, Dwayne's been sporting his shirt all day. He looks mighty cute in it. It's nice. Super soft too. I'm like, wow, come here. I like that shirt.
Yeah, if you're gonna put stuff out there, people are gonna buy. You want something that's gonna stick around too. So, one of our friends, Sammy, that is also another musician. He's been playing a little bit of bass with us on and off too. He might be playing more in the future. He also runs a screen printing operation, and so we did a big order with him. We're like, nothing but the best. Get the best. 100% cotton. We want ultra soft.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
so
I was
take
impressed.
a chance and go on our website. You buy merchandise. You can definitely be assured that you're going to get a top-notch piece of clothing.
Yep, I can vouch for it. Definitely.
Awesome.
So when you were on tour, I like to always ask people this. If you feel like saying it or telling a story, what was the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on tour?
Ooh. Boy, that's a tough question. Been on a lot of tours. You know, and I'll share something back from the Uzis days that sticks out. Probably 96 to 2003, I had a punk rock band called the Uzis. We did a lot of tours. We were actually on the East Coast with doing like 7 or 8 shows with the UK subs, and we were playing in Richmond, Virginia, and we ended up at an after party. As we were talking earlier, sometimes you're trying to find a place to sleep, crash for the night. Sometimes there isn't always enough money in the budget for a hotel room, and so we hooked up with some locals at the show, and there wasn't room with some of the bands that we stayed with. They hooked us up with some friends of theirs. So at an after party, we ended up at this house, huge house, pretty dilapidated. There's only so much room to sleep in the van. And so, the party starts winding down. It's probably 3 in the morning or so. And they're like, hey, you guys should take over this front room here. There's nothing in there. You guys can throw sleeping bags down. So we were pretty fatigued at the time. We go into the front room, and the whole floor is littered with, they had their German Shepherds standing out.
Oh, no.
Animals. Just dog shit everywhere. We're looking at each other, and we're all pretty much drunk at this time. Every one of us had been drinking, so we're like, there's no way in hell we can drive right now. I'm kind of a big guy. I'm 6'1". We looked around, and everybody's like, oh, hell no. Not sleeping on this. There's no way.
Oh, my God.
We kind of made it an exit. At this point, the party's down to like 4 people, involving 3 crazy-ass redneck guys swinging a guy around on like a rope as he's smashing into a wall. There's they're swinging this guy around on a rope, which is kind of like an old parachute rope or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where they got that, but they're smashing this guy. They're breaking drywall. All the girls were gone from the party.
That's why everybody was going nuts. No.
Yeah, nobody stayed in the dog shit room, so I kind of stood up and I go, look, none of us are staying here. We're making a run. we're heading back to Chapel Hill, or Raleigh, North Carolina, where some friends of ours was kind of our home base when we were doing a leg of the tour there. But it was about a 3-hour drive away, so I told the guys,
oh my God,
start sneaking out of the place. I'll be the last one out. You guys be in the van. I'll start the van. We'll grab some coffee. I'll muscle up and do this and get to drive. So we go to the gas station to fuel up on coffee, and I myself was still drinking pretty heavy. So everybody else was passed out in the van already 15 minutes later. So I fill up the van, and I'm so anxious to get on the road to keep myself awake so we can get the hell out of there. I take off, and I forgot to take the gas pump, the nozzle, out of the side of the van. So I literally pull out of this 7-Eleven or whatever it was, this little, quick stop place, and rip the whole gas nozzle and hose out of the gas pump.
Oh,
as I can see in
God.
my rearview mirror, gas started to come out. I didn't realize at the time that it had a safety release valve. All I kept thinking is, holy shit, we're going to blow up. I'm going to blow up again. So it was a mess. I got out, pulled the thing out of the gas, out of our, the side of the van, just threw it on the ground, got in the van, and we took off before the police came. And lo and behold, that was a long drive that night, but we made it. I got us there safe.
It was a shit show, sounds like.
Yeah, any kids at home, do not drive drunk. Have a designated driver. But,
oh, my God.
in our late 20s.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's one I'll never forget, and I get taunted about from my old bandmates once in a while, too. So, yeah.
Oh, I think it's
There
a
you
great
go.
story. Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So what is
thank
what
you.
is the biggest obstacle for bands right now, in your opinion?
I would say the biggest obstacle is a flooded market. With, along with online access, the easy availability of music gear, the low cost of music gear, which wasn't so much available. It seems like everybody plays in a band these days. Whereas when we started, it seemed like the diehard people that were the writers and the artists and had that drive inside them were the ones that surfaced as musicians and kept going, whether it was being self-taught or taking lessons and putting together bands and sticking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a lot of weekenders that play. There's also a lot of cover bands that are out there. So as we see the club shrinking, I think just being able to stand out from the crowd in a definite flooded market right now is the hardest thing for new bands to get out and get known. And it's not always just on, the quality or the vibe of your music these days, because so many people are competing for shows. We've had to take a creative approach with that too, to stand out, as seasoned as a lot of us are. But, put forth the best music that people can relate to, I think, is where you have to start with that. You just have to work it.
Yeah, definitely. That was my second question, too, about, advice you could give to people that are starting their own bands now. So
I think it's really work on your songwriting. It's kind of expected when you're even playing a smaller club circuit level that you're going to be tight, that you're going to have something to offer, that you guys have chemistry, and you're somebody that people would want to pay money to go see. But I don't always hear, the quality songs and instruments. That's great that you can perform, but I really like songs that move me, based on my influences coming back from The Clash and Prince and Thin Lizzy, Sabbath.
yeah, you're ultimately, that's completely true. Completely true.
So that's what we focus on in the songwriting, and, we'll start feeling good about something that I have home recording in our studio, and so I record as well, too. I'll be tempted to put out demo stuff just to kind of share it with fans. The other guys will pull me back and say, we're still not done with it. So we really take our time crafting our songs.
Yeah.
And our instruments and our rigs, our live rigs, our recording rigs, and just having a good presence. So when you're asking people to come out and pay, $10, $15, $20 or more, I think the Marcy Playground show we played was, $24, $30 tickets at the door. Have something to show that people don't mind forking out money to come see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're definitely a band that stands out, though, so, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it.
And we don't spend so much time on our costumes and our shtick as much as we do just playing from heart and soul and playing good, heartfelt.
Yeah, and that's what people are there for,
Yeah.
I mean, I was having a discussion about Kiss, and I love Kiss. Don't get me wrong. I think they're great.
Absolutely.
They're great, but most of their...
I mentioned them, one of my first influences.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge Kiss fan. Yeah.
Most of their appeal is in the costume and the stage show. Now, they all are great and excellent performers. I'm not taking anything from them, but their songs.
But it's their songs.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. But I wouldn't put them in the same category as like Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath.
True.
I wouldn't. I mean, they're a different type of a band. As far as
show. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
As far as lyrically, like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, those songs move me more emotionally. I have
I agree.
Yeah, I have that emotional hook with those bands to where, like, I walked down the aisle when I got married to Led Zeppelin in a church.
Rad.
So, you just have those emotional connections with certain bands, and like Rush fans. I mean, Rush fans are just like a tribe of their own. And Neil Peart is going to be 66 tomorrow, so hey.
Well, I'm glad he's still kicking, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Best drummer ever.
Best drummer ever.
Seriously.
Rush, too. I mean, and that's the thing is, it's not a revival of bringing back old rock and roll. It's continuing the legacy, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to do it all. You have to write great songs. You have to do it. Whether you're sober, whether your music and your creative comes from drug-induced episodes, whatever the hell it is, being able to tap into something and, being able to bring that forward is the bands that we grew up on. I watched Tom Petty in Kansas City when I was in 6th grade at one of the big amphitheaters there. He was so good, and I just remember I'm like, oh my God, I want to grow up. I want to be like Petty.
Yeah,
Petty
me too.
Awesome. And I also watched him OD and collapse on stage in the 6th grade. I didn't quite understand it. My mom had taken us to the show, which mom and dad are rock and rollers too. So props to them out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But there was so much of it, and I don't see all that. I see big production these days, but I'm a little more selective on the shows we go out to. But we were definitely spawned on all the right rock and roll. So
very much so.
Lucky.
Very much so. And all the people that I've interviewed and met over the years, it seems like the best ones out of the bunch had parents that took them to shows. I'm serious. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I let my kids like what they're gonna like, and they have their moments of, oh God, I hope this band doesn't stick with them, just because their friends like it or whatever. You'll see that as the kids grow up, but they stick to their roots.
That's true. I think my daughter's coming full circle too.
Yeah.
She called me a few months back, and his friend of hers dragged her out to a Queens of the Stone Age show, and I was like, "Oh, awesome! You're going, Brad." Because I've seen him a couple of times. He's one of my favorite bands too, and she's like, "Dad, I love it. I love it." And I think she rebelled for a few years, trying to go into the electronic world.
Oh, they do. Yep.
And I just look at her and go, "God, what's that crap you're listening to?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?" My daughter's been on stage with us and Peter and the Test Tube Babies back in the day. And she was like 3 years old with Liberty Spikes. And
oh, how cool is that? You should dig those pictures.
You're going to go with my EDM? Hell no, over my dead body.
You should put pictures up if you have them. Seriously.
I do have a picture sticking around somewhere on my Facebook. I will try to do a repost on that.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to see it. It's just awesome. I think it was at the showcase in Corona.
Austin Morgan from the Austin Mo Experience. He just turned 21 today, and he's an up-and-coming talent. Very, very good. He's such an old soul. I mean, the kid can play like nobody's business. You're just like, wow. I met him probably about 6 months ago, and his mom put together a slideshow of his life. And you can see him with like a little play guitar, and he's like 4 years old, and he's got the guitar, but he's got a pacifier in his mouth, and I was like, right on. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. You know, it just...
You're going to have to... Yeah.
I mean...
Definitely share that with me. I'd like to check out his music.
Oh, he's so good. He's looking actually for a bassist right now. But he's a fabulous guitar player. I was just like blown away. He opened up for Eric Gales. And I'd been...
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, he's got such a soul to him. You look at him and you're like, you're 21? I mean, I met him when he was 20, you know, like, how is this possible? He's kind of like the Johnny Lang type, you know?
Yeah.
Real good parents, and all along the way, they're just passing that torch. And that's our responsibility as good parents to teach them good music too. So
sounds like he can definitely attribute some of that, success and that old soul to his parents.
Yeah.
I was grateful. I had the same thing. I think I was 5 years old, and I smashed my dad's acoustic guitar, listening to my first Kiss record too. So growing up with rock and roll parents, having that influence does a lot. I think it resonates down the road for you. So that's good. I'd definitely like you to share.
Of course.
Check it out when I get a chance.
Awesome. And speaking of links, so how do fans gain access to your music? Do you have a website? Do you have a sample song or a demo CD they can get a hold of? Tell us about that, and everything you tell me I'm going to hook to this interview and the show, and then everybody will have access.
Okay, great. Well, hopefully by the end of the year, look for our full length to be released. We've been dragging our feet a little bit on it. We're in some label talks with a few different directions right now. Hopefully we're going to decide on which route we're going. So we've put out 2 songs to date, and we have a whole album released produced by Tad Doyle and Jack Endino out of Seattle, who produced Nirvana and Soundgarden back in the day. The 2 songs that we have out now, downloads can happen on our Bandcamp page, iTunes, Google Play. If you want to stream our music, we have an amazing Pandora station, Wolves In Argyle station. So Pandora and Spotify, you can stream our music.
Awesome.
And we're also getting it up on Reverb Nation. But if the distro deal and everything happens, hopefully the full-length Dangeroo will be available in retail stores, too, by the end of the year. If not, by early spring at the latest, I promise.
Sweet. So you actually helped me build the whole show this week, and we're going to hear 3 of your songs, and then we're going to hear a few songs that, well, I think there's probably 10 or more songs, Sweet Leaf, and some Red Fang, and some Alice in Chains, and some Audio Slave. So it's going to be a great, great music night. And I really thank you so much for joining Rock Talk. It was a pleasure getting to know you more and getting to know the foundation of Wolves In Argyle. They're badass, and I'm telling you out there, next show, and when is that show? You got to go out and check them out. Do you have anything coming up?
We don't. We're keeping our calendar open. We're working on artwork and finalizing this record release. So,
okay.
But real soon we'll announce something, and it's usually pretty easy to find us. We're all over the internet. So,
okay. Well, I certainly will put all those links. Yeah, I'll put all those links on the page so everybody can get a hold of this great music, and they definitely have to go out and see you guys. It goes hand in hand. So the first song that we're going to hear is, which was the first one that you wanted to play?
Go ahead and play our most recent release, Dangerous.
Okay.
And then I submitted an unreleased song called Beautiful Losers that we're going to play now, which also features Sven Soderlund on lead. And I believe the other one we have is Northern Lies, which we released through Universal Music Group.
Awesome. So we're going to get right into the music, this triple shot from Wolves in Argyle, and thanks again so much, Dave. I appreciate all you do for the musical world out there. You make it a better place. So good night, and
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, and we're going to get into the music.
We may fall on our faces, but if we do, we will fall with dignity.
Talk to you soon.
With a guitar
Right
in
on,
our
Dave.
hands and rock.
All right.
We may fall on
And
our
we're going to
faces,
get right back into the
but
music.
if we do,
Jim, are you
we
there?
may fall on our faces, but if we do,
I'm here.
we will fall
All
with
right,
dignity.
so
with a guitar
let's do that
in our
triple
hands
shot.
and rock in our hearts. And in the words of AC/DC, we roll tonight to the guitar bite. And for those about to rock, I salute you.
you got the 215 out? Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in. Sir, did you know your house is on fire? Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your house is on
Grab a
fire?
bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know?
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you?
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket. Fire department. Come in. Sir, did you know you... It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich? Thanks, but tell me something. Shoot. Why didn't you call the fire department first? I did. Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery.
And welcome back to Rock Talk. Those were 3 amazing songs, and we're going to have all the links to Wolves in Argyle's fan page, to their Facebook, to linking their music. So all that will be on the Rock Talk USA webpage. So look for that. And thanks so much, Dave Holmes, for joining us tonight. So yeah, it is 9/11 today, and it's a sad day in our country. Also in the rock and roll community. In 2003, this is the day that singer and songwriter Johnny Cash passed away of respiratory failure, and he was 71. And Jimi Hendrix actually gave his final interview in his hotel room in London, where he spoke with Keith Alfman, and that was a journalist for the British Weekly Music newspaper. So I wonder if I could get a hold of that. I don't know if they filmed it or recorded it, or maybe it's in text somewhere. I don't know, but I'd like to check that out. So we have some great music coming up. What's our next song? Is it Fight It Back by Accept?
Right.
Awesome. So I heard that the other night. I went to see Dress the Dead. They're friends of ours, and we've been doing a little promo for them and doing some of their photography. And I mean, they're a great band. You got to check them out. They're actually going to be in San Jose at this, I guess, street fair. What day is that? I think it's the 23rd. Yeah, and it's free. So I'll put more information on the Rock Talk Facebook page about that. But you got to go check them out. Kayla Dixon is the lead singer. Amazing, amazing. Everybody in the band is just awesome. Great, great show. But so when I saw them, the first band was a cover band. What are they called? Union Jack and the Rippers. That's right. And they were pretty amazing. The lead singer actually sounded like every front man that he was singing. It was awesome. Sounded just like Accept, and I was like, wow, I love Accept. So I got to play that on the show. And then he played Ozzy, Judas Priest. It was just amazing. We got some really good shots, of photography shots. Those are on the webpage too, so you got to go check that out. And when they're playing, you got to check them out too. I'm definitely going to be following them. They're really, really good musicians. So anyhow, we're going to get into the music, and we're going to start it out with Fight It Back by Accept. So enjoy that.
Brothers who make the
you hate it, you gotta fight it back. Just try to change it, fight it back. No, if you hate it, you gotta fight it back. Just try to change it, fight it back. Fight it back. Fight it back.
If you wanna make a move, then you better come in. It's just ability, that reason that we're so thin. Living and dying, and the stories that are true. Sink into a collapse, knowing when you're through. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Those back in the hole where they got him living, and your rapper, they smarter than that. Nine lives like a cat, 15 years old, take them to the youth authority home. First thing you learn, you gotta make it in this world alone. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Now he's gone out, he got a free, he got a coat, got a car. He's 21 years old, he's running numbers from the bar. He's paid his people, he's getting deep in whatever he can move on, and you know that kid a creepin'. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac. The boys are time bomb. The boys are time bomb. Tears come from the razor that's been tattooed below his eye. His mother cries, she knows that he is strong enough to die. He's rolling in the Cadillac, his midnight sunroof is down. 3 shots right out of here and then the new king is crowned. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are time bomb. Oh, time bomb.
Savino Wine Preservation System is wine preservation glassware. Savino is an easy-to-use wine preservation system that allows you to enjoy your favorite wines anytime without waiting for an occasion. Open any bottle with confidence, knowing that you can enjoy the full original flavor of Tuesday's wine on Saturday. For more information, visit us at www.savinowine.com. Today's wine, tomorrow.
And welcome back to Rock Talk. So if you look on the Rock Talk Facebook page and the Rock Talk USA webpage, you'll see that Greta Van Fleet has a new song out. It's called Watching Over. You can see the video. It's really, really cool. And it's available for pre-order, so you can get your copy. Also, Joan Jett has an upcoming documentary called Bad Reputation, and that's going to be out on the 28th. That's going to be really awesome. And she also has a new single. It's called Fresh Start, so you can watch that video also on the Rock Talk USA webpage. So check that out. And we're going to get into some Black Sabbath.
When I first met you, didn't realize
diamond could have shaped heartaches. I come to find you for in some velvet morning. Years too late. She's a silver lining, Lone Ranger riding through an open space. In my mind when she's not right there beside me, I go crazy, 'cause here isn't where I wanna be. And satisfaction feels like a distant memory, and I can't help myself. All I wanna hear me say is, are you mine? Well, are you mine? Are you mine? Are you mine? Oh, I guess what I'm trying to say is I need the deep end, keep imagining meeting wished away. Entire lifetimes unfair, we're not somewhere misbehaving for days. Great escape, lost track of time and space. She's a silver lining, climbing on my desire, and I go crazy, 'cause here isn't where I wanna be. And satisfaction feels like a distant memory, and I can't help myself. All I wanna hear her say is, are you mine? Well, are you mine? Are you mine? Are you mine? And the thrill of the chase moves in mysterious ways. So in case I'm mistaken, I just wanna hear you say you got me, baby. Are you mine? She's a silver lining, Lone Ranger riding through an open space. In my mind when she's not right there beside me, I go crazy, 'cause here isn't where I wanna be. And satisfaction feels like a distant memory, and I can't help myself. All I wanna hear her say is, are you mine? Well, are you mine? Are you mine? Are you
gone.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you all about an amazing salon. Joyce's, located at 132 Ferry Street in Everett, Massachusetts. Joyce's specializes in the latest techniques in coloring, styling, cutting, and beach waves. Joyce's features Sukesha all-natural nutrient products and organic color. Joyce's full-service spa and salon, located at 132 Ferry Street, Everett, Massachusetts. 617-387-6688. Specializing in you.
And welcome back to Rock Talk. So we're going to go over the birthdays. Yesterday, Joe Perry turned 68 along with Tommy Shaw, 65. Today is Austin's birthday from the Austin Mo Experience. He's 21, so have that beer. And next time I see you, I guess I'll be buying you a beer if you actually like the taste of it. Tomorrow is Neil Peart's birthday. He's going to be 66. On the 13th, my son Landon is going to be 15. Along with Fiona Apple, she's going to be 41. And the amazing Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, he's going to be 57. Then on the 14th, we have Steve Berlin from Los Lobos. He's going to be 63. Lee Dorman from Iron Butterfly, 73. That's on the 15th. And then on the 16th, we have Ron Blair from the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He's going to be 70. On the 18th, we have Kerry Livingren from Kansas. He's going to be 69. On the 20th, we have Ben Shepard from Soundgarden. He's going to be 50. On the 20th, Nuno Betancourt from Extreme. He'll be 52, along with Dwayne Gillette. He's going to be 52, my partner in crime. So, yeah, I'd love to bake you all a cake, but only a few of you are going to get one. So, on that note, we're going to get back into the music, and we're going to start off with, I think, what is on the deck here? Is it Love Song? Yep, that's it. Okay, so enjoy those, and we'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do?
Where's my skull? I'm so wasted.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
And welcome back. So I have some Today in Rock History. In 1989, Aerosmith released Pump, their 10th studio album, which featured the hit single Love in an Elevator, The Other Side, and Janie's Got a Gun. It seems like yesterday to me. I liked all three of those songs and still listen to them. In 1967, the Beatles, All You Need Is Love, was certified as a 1 million copy seller. And this is interesting. In 1966, the Beatles received a gold record for their single Yellow Submarine, but Paul McCartney would later say that the song began as being about different colored submarines, not just one, but evolved into only one yellow one. Interesting little fact. And on that note, we have Bad Boy Eddie. They have a new music video coming out, She Spits Venom. They've been recording that the last week, and looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So I will definitely have those links to watch that. As soon as it comes out, I'll keep you all posted. And Dress the Dead, remember, they're going to be out in San Jose at the Street Fair on Sunday the 23rd in San Jose. It's free. It's a great show, and it's for all ages, so get out there and check them out. They're awesome performers. And I want to say a special thanks to Dave Holmes and Wolves In Argyle. We really appreciate your time and the music that you create, and we're looking forward to your next show. And I'll be putting all those links on the Rock Talk USA webpage. And I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to leave you with some final great songs. Have a great week. Talk to you next Tuesday. Good night.
Argyle 109. We spoil music for everyone. Shut up, you little brat.
Oh, KRDO. The girdle. Elastic ass with you here in Chino Hills, the last frontier. That's where we're at.
Word, KOOL. You know what it spells and you know how we do. Live and direct coming at you from the middle of nowhere, the center of everywhere. You gotta check this band, Queens of the Stone Age. If you're not knowing, I'm here to let you know. I'm giving you my stamp of approval, you know what I'm saying? So pick this up.
And we're gonna spoil music for you. This is Millionaire. Queens of the Stone Age. A song about something that'll never be.